Family dinners are supposed to feel warm, safe, predictable. Ours were anything but. If you walked past our house on a Sunday evening, you'd see the golden light through the windows, hear the faint clatter of plates, maybe even laughter. You'd think we were normal. We weren't. My name is Leah, and growing up, I learned very early that in my family, fairness was optional, especially when it came to my older brother, Marcus. Marcus was the golden child, athletic, loud, confident. The kind of son my father bragged about at work. The kind of son my mother defended before anyone even accused him of anything. I was the opposite, quiet, observant, the one who preferred books over arguments, the one who avoided conflict, mostly because conflict always ended the same way, with me apologizing for something I didn't do. But nothing prepared me for what happened that Sunday night. The dinner that exploded. It started small. It always did. Mom had made roast chicken. Dad was talking about his week. Marcus was scrolling through his phone, barely listening. Then Dad asked the question. "So Marcus, did you turn in your college application?" Marcus didn't look up. "Working on it." Dad's jaw tightened. "You've been working on it for 3 weeks." The tension thickened instantly. I kept my eyes on my plate. Experience had taught me that silence was survival. But then Marcus laughed, sharp and dismissive. "Why do you care so much? It's my life." Dad slammed his fork down. "Because I'm paying for it." And then somehow it shifted. Marcus turned to me. "You think you're better than me, don't you?" he snapped. I blinked. "What?" "You sit there acting perfect." I didn't say anything. "You don't have to." The room felt smaller. My chest tightened. "I literally haven't spoken," I said quietly. Dad sighed. "Leah, just let it go." That's when I knew it didn't matter what I said. The script had already been written. The moment everything changed. Marcus shoved his chair back violently. "Stop looking at me like that," he shouted. "I'm not looking at you," I said, confused and scared. And then it happened. He grabbed the chair, not slowly, not dramatically, just grabbed it. And before I could react, he swung it. The edge of the chair smashed into my shin with a sickening crack. Pain exploded through my leg. I collapsed onto the floor. For a moment, there was silence. Then my mother gasped, "Marcus!" But it wasn't horror in her voice. It was panic. Not for me, for him. The blame game, I couldn't breathe. My leg throbbed violently. Dad stood up. "What is wrong with you two?" "You two." "I didn't do anything," I whispered. Marcus was shaking with anger. She was provoking me. "I didn't even talk." Mom rushed to Marcus first. "Calm down, sweetheart, sweetheart." I was still on the floor. Dad looked at me with frustration. "Leah, why do you always push his buttons?" I stared at him in disbelief. He hit me with a chair. "You antagonize him," Dad insisted. "How? I was eating dinner." Marcus pointed at me. "See? She's acting innocent again." Something inside me broke. The hospital. My leg was fractured. 6 weeks in a brace. Crutches. Painkillers. On the drive home, Mom said softly, "You know how sensitive your brother is." "Sensitive?" "He broke my leg," I said. "Well, you know how to trigger him." I turned to the window and stopped speaking. Because in that moment, I understood something terrifying. In this family, I was responsible for other people's violence, living in the aftermath. Marcus avoided me, annoyed more than apologetic. Dad never mentioned the incident again. Mom kept reminding me to be mindful of Marcus's feelings. I started recording conversations on my phone, not to expose them, but to prove to myself I wasn't crazy. Because when 3 people tell you the same story, that you caused your own injury, reality starts to blur. I listened to that dinner recording one night. I hadn't said a single hostile word. Still, they rewrote it, over and over. Leah upset him. Leah knows how he gets. Leah escalated it. Gaslighting doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like family. The breaking point 6 weeks later, my leg healed. But I hadn't. I applied for a job in another city quietly, When I got the offer, I packed. The night before I left, Mom saw my suitcase. "You're not seriously moving over this, are you?" "It's not just the chair," I said calmly. Dad stepped in. "Families fight. Families don't break each other's bones and pretend it's normal." Marcus laughed from the couch. "You're so dramatic." For the first time, I didn't feel fear. I felt clarity. "No," I said. "I just finally see it." Mom's voice trembled. "You're tearing this family apart." I picked up my keys. "No, I'm just refusing to hold it together alone." Life after leaving. It's been 3 years. Marcus still lives at home. He never finished his college application. Dad doesn't brag about him anymore. Mom messages sometimes. "Your brother misses you." But she has never once said, "I'm sorry." Therapy taught me something powerful. When one child becomes the golden child, another becomes the scapegoat. I wasn't weak. I was convenient. And that night wasn't just about a chair. It was about years of imbalance finally turning physical. What I learned: violence starts with excuses. It grows when accountability disappears. And it survives in silence. Leaving wasn't betrayal, it was survival. I still feel a faint ache in my shin when it rains. But the deeper ache, the one that told me I deserved that pain, is gone. Because now I know no one deserves to be hit. No one is responsible for managing someone else's temper. And no family bond is stronger than your right to safety.